All right, back to you, John. There's our final one. We're going to hear from Danito. Is this an overreaction when he says Wuthering Heights will have a $70 million opening weekend?
You know, if you had asked me that 3 months ago, I would have scoffed at it. I mean, that's a massive overreaction. Like $70 million. Like, let's not forget, that's a big opening weekend, especially for a film like Wuthering Heights. Now, since then, I remember we saw a preview for it. My wife, I mentioned, no one's going to see that. My wife kind of brought up, she goes, you know, John, when you look at the popularity of Bridgerton and you look at the popularity of Gilded Age, and you look at the popularity of those things right now, on top of it's Margot Robbie, but now the emerging popularity of Jacob Elordi, who's nominated for an Academy Award, and they are marketing this very sexy, very forbidden love, the very tropey, all that kind of stuff. She said, I think you might be surprised. Well, guess what? The box office tracking is suggesting this thing could open as high as 60. And it is not the most rare thing in the world that movies open beyond their expected range. 3 months ago, I would have scoffed at this, but I'm actually going to say it opening at 70. While I wouldn't put money on that, I don't think it's an overreaction to predict it either. I'm going to say not an overreaction. Yeah. Rob, what about you?
I'm going to agree with you. I watched Jeremy Johns' review of this movie before I came in here this morning, and he was surprised at how thirsty the movie was, and how he felt.
You guys use look at the trailer, man.
Yeah, he felt it in the audience. He's like, he said there was one thing when he pulls Margot Robbie up by her bodice or whatever, and lifted her up. He said you could feel the audience going. It was just funny. It was really funny, and I'm like, okay. Here's the thing. Whenever you have a movie that's designed to be embraced by the female audience, and Wuthering Heights, Heathcliff is one of the great romantic characters from fiction, and this is a thirsty story for a long, and people love it, and it's she has quotes around it. She's amped up that element of the story. So I think you're gonna have mothers and daughters going to see this movie and having long conversations after it's over.
But even look how it's shot and the clothing and everything. It looks.
Charlie XCX did some music for it.
Dude, this thing's good. I have said from the beginning this thing's going to be big.
Dude, I got tickets. I'm going to see Crime 101 and this movie on Thursday.
There you go.
Now, am I the only guy?
Yes.
Who, in my head canon, when I watched the trailer, I imagine this as the sequel to Frankenstein.
The sequel?
No, dude.
Like, I watched this and I feel like this is Frankenstein's monster. Jacob Elordi,
like he healed, and now
40
he's
years later, who has healed over and has now finally found his love.
And then if you think about it, because Heathcliff and Homegirl have known each other since they were kids.
Yeah.
So maybe you could metaphorically say though that this, after he was reborn as a true human, kind of like he went through the beauty process or whatever, and that's when he met young Margot Robbie, and they grew up together. But yes, I love this is now in my head canon. You've put this in my head canon. This is a sequel to Frankenstein. As a matter of fact, Frankenheights. The new Frankenheights.
Here we go.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.